We are wrestling.
Olympic hero Kurt Angle, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast. We Are Wrestling Podcast.
Let's flip and go.
You're watching We Are Wrestling.
I'm the host with the most.
You are by far the least intelligent.
What is going on? We are Wrestling Maniacs. Ben here, one half of the We Are Wrestling podcast.
We Are Wrestling Podcast.
Make sure to subscribe, baby.
We are wrestling.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie here with.
What is going on? We are Wrestling Maniacs worldwide. It is Ben, the half of We Are Wrestling podcast. And today we got a nice little chillax, nice special show for you guys. And we'll get into all those details. But before we do that, you already know what's going on. Don, take it away, buddy.
Honestly, man, I think this week there's not crazy news, but I think it's some really good news that I'm honestly very excited to, shed some light on, which obviously we're going to dive into all that good stuff. But before we do that, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're listening to the podcast, give us a 5-star review, not just a 5-star review, but a best one review, and download the episode. But if you are not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already over on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, we recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications, videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course you already know the grind is real.
Yeah, buddy.
So how's your week been?
Fucking crazy, man. Like, it's been like weirdly busy. And a lot of shit's been going on. So I mean, it's been good though. I can't really complain. I had my boy over the last couple of days. I had to bring him to the airport, so I have his car sitting outside right now. Shit drives like a fucking beast, man. Like, I've never understood comfort driving until I drove that dude's car, and it sits kind of low, and it's kind of inside. It feels like a sports car, so I'm fucking cruising from fucking Windsor Locks all the way back home, dude, and I feel like I'm riding on a goddamn cloud. So that was probably like the highlight of my real life. But I gotta say, dude, we got some exciting shit we gotta talk about that we were both a part of this week when it came to the wrestling world, and I'm excited to get into that. How was your week, bud?
So it was very bumpy because obviously, I got the opportunity to go out to Long Island, New York for Create a Pro on Friday, which, that was a very cool experience. Brian Myers, Pat Buck, what they're doing over there, I think is fantastic. And, myself and my fiance, she was able to go to her first, Create a Pro show. And it started off very rough because we had about a 4.5 hour drive due to traffic. And yeah, 2 hours into the drive, Ben already knows this. I ended up, pulling at a pit stop to go get myself a Dunkin' drink. And yeah, I get out of my car and I realize something. I left my rigid wallet at home with my my license, my ID,
his whole fucking life,
my credit card, my debit card, my money that I took out of the bank before the show, gone. I did not have it with me. I left it at my house by mistake. So it was a very, stressful situation. So I had to rely on my fiance. Thank God, she had a card. Thank God that she had her ID. And it was just a very stressful start to the trip.
Thank God that you guys are both like pretty financially like all right, because if that happened and she wasn't like on top of her game, dude, your weekend would have went sour. So I'm really glad that, you guys are definitely on top of it, because that would have been a shit show.
Yeah, and besides that, it was a great trip overall, though. Like, we stayed at, the Hilton over in Long Island. Very nice, hotel. Wish that we got to, enjoy it a little bit more, but due to all the shenanigans, due to all the traffic, we didn't really get to enjoy it much. Once we got there, we had to, immediately go to, the Create a Pro show, and finally got the opportunity to, meet Chris Statlander, after, quite a while, because last time I saw her was back in August of 2019 when, she lost the Blitzkrieg Bedlam Championship to Bobby Orlando. And it's like seeing her, like in the independent circuit around my area for all these years. And now, being the TBS champion, one of the top women in the AEW's women's division.
Took it right off Jade Cargill.
Get my figure signed and to get to meet her at the school she trained at, honestly, was freaking awesome.
And seeing her as a big time now. Of course,
man, I also got to meet the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal Sabu, which, that was a really cool, experience. Got my
favorite ECW star
signed. And I even got to meet Impact Wrestling, star Moose, which was pretty cool too.
Fuck yeah, man. First things first, Chris Statlander. Dang. Really glad that you got to see her as like an established fucking like TV star now. Like she's definitely fucking getting up there. She fucking took the belt off of Jade Cargill. So I mean, like that's a very big accomplishment, man. And now Jade's in WWE. So I mean, see, like you say all the time, dude, the independents are where the future's at. And like you're again reliving it just the same way that you did with fucking MJF, man. It's great. It's really, really great stuff.
Indie wrestling. We highly recommend it. And if like you're around the Long Island area, man, go to Create a Pro shows. It was a great time. Meadow, she really enjoyed it a lot. And we are going to be having a vlog of both the Blitzkrieg Pro and the Create a Pro show all together in one. That should be coming out hopefully sometime next week.
I'm so excited to watch that shit because I really want to relive Blitzkrieg again. And I'm so excited to talk about that. So when we get to that section of the podcast tonight, man, it's going to be a fun one. So we'll talk about that.
So yeah, pretty much over the weekend, I went to Create a Pro on Friday in Long Island. Saturday, came back home, went to Holyoke, Mass with you. And we, got to go to Blitzkrieg Pro and, see the Vaudevillains. And they put on a great show. Ben's first time. But then after that, I got sick. And this has been my week, pretty much.
Tissues. Where's the lotion at? Okay. I'm fucking with you, bud. But no, I'm not surprised. I mean, like when you go to like smaller venues and public areas, I mean, there's always somebody lurking about that's probably carrying something, and it's easy to get hit if you're in the right circumstance. So as long as you know
one of the We Are Wrestling Maniacs that I met. Screw you.
Was it? Oh,
I don't know, man. I met a lot of fans at Create a Pro, and I also met a lot of fans at Blitzkrieg.
Well, it's not the dude. It's definitely not the dude that bought me a drink because I'd be sick too.
Shout out to Dan, man, for that.
Shout out to Dan, bud. Thanks for the drink, man. I owe you.
But yeah, basically this week, in the beginning of the week, like the first half of the week, I was basically sick, really couldn't do anything. But now I'm finally getting off the cold, which is great because after, this podcast airs, I'm going to be going to a Halloween party on Saturday as Doodle Bob. Me,
you Doodle. Me, SpongeBob.
Fucking love Doodle, bro. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man. I'm excited. But now, let's talk about Blitzkrieg Pro.
Yeah,
this
man.
Was your first time going, and guys, you don't even know. For years, I have been trying to beg Ben to, come to a Blitzkrieg show, and something always came up until, Saturday, which, man, what was your thoughts on your first Blitzkrieg show?
So, as Don said, it's been a long time in the making that he's been trying to get me to a show, but usually they're always on a weekend, and on the weekends I have my little ones, so it's very limited in what I can do. My other half usually works on the weekend. This time, my other half was off for the weekend, so I was able to have her be with my daughter, and I got to go chill at a Blitzkrieg show. And when I tell you that I marked out more for wrestlers that I don't even know who the fuck they are at a very small venue, I went harder at this show than I did at Survivor Series. And Survivor Series was a fucking vibe. And that's like WWE, which is like the top pinnacle. And then Blitzkrieg is where you're trying to get discovered. And if there's something that I've learned, independent shows are always on fire because, again, you're trying to get discovered. You're trying to make a name for yourself. You're trying to really push yourself out there, and it shows, man, in the product. And there's so much passion in an indie show. And I'm not saying that there isn't, on like televised, bigger networks, bigger companies.
Yeah, but they're
I'm not saying
fighting
that.
for something.
Exactly. There's more at stake other than just a belt. They're trying to make a career. They're trying to build a legacy. And this is where you do it. Blitzkrieg, I will say, man, is a completely different breed from the other independent shows that you've brought me to. It's a lot more interactive. We were right in front of the fucking ring. We had a dude fall on us. And then it kept fucking happening. We had to get up, and I'm pretty sure you'll see this on the vlog. We had to get up multiple times because there were spots right in front of us happening in real time. And dude, like I said, the energy was just fucking electrifying, man. And I really also have to give a shout out to Phil, the ring announcer, one of our really good buddies. It just made the show, all over again. So there's so much that goes into the production of a Blitzkrieg show that just makes it the magic that it really is. And again, you see a lot of these bigger stars that you've seen on TV in these shows as well. So, I mean, again, definitely Blitzkrieg over anything. Blitzkrieg for life.
And that's the thing, man. Like I go to, as much independent wrestling shows as I possibly can to support these guys and girls. And what Blitzkrieg Pro is doing is so different. And that's like why I'm so happy that We Are Wrestling and Blitzkrieg Pro, we have this partnership because, Jeremy, Phil, all the boys in the back, all the girls in the back, they really welcome us, with open arms. And
they really do.
It's just such a great positive vibe. And that's how, my fiance Meadow, she even got into wrestling. She never watched it. And I brought her to a Blitzkrieg Pro show, and she never wants to miss one now. It's just the vibe at the end of the day, and it's just something so fun to do. And what, Blitzkrieg has done has been incredible. And I remember, going to my very first, Blitzkrieg show when they were, us versus them. And it was on a baseball field. And man, to see like where they started to now is just incredible. And so blessed to, be working with, Jeremy and, the entire Blitzkrieg Pro family.
So let's make a bet because Donnie just said, Meadow was never into wrestling, never really, really cared about it. And then she went to a Blitzkrieg show and became a fan. Just because that we're very wrestling based and, we bleed wrestling, it's our passion, does not mean our families are on board with this whole thing and that they're fans too. Let's make a bet and hope to God that Ash is the same fucking way. Because I would love for her to go to every single fucking Blitzkrieg show as possible. Because I'm excited for November because it's in a really good venue. It's wicked fucking close to home because I live in Holyoke, right by where they're trying to make it their new home. So it's a beautiful night out. You get to see people beat the shit out of each other live right in front of you, and you get to get some food and some drinks, man. What is not to love about that, man? So I'm really hoping this turns her into a fan.
And that's the thing, too. I just want to say as well to any of, the Blitzkrieg faithful that are watching this clip or, listening to the podcast, if you go to like the Pierogi Hall in Enfield, Connecticut, trust me, going into this venue, I had my doubts because, of course, Blitzkrieg, they have tried to go to different places like Tower Square in Springfield and, the Moose Lodge in Westfield. And let me tell you this venue that Blitzkrieg, had this, latest show, such a great vibe. There's a lot of space. And man, let me tell you this. This is definitely the best, home that Blitzkrieg, can create.
Hell yeah.
Outside of the Pierogi Hall, because unfortunately, with the Pierogi Hall, it's under new, management. I know they said it during the Luau show, and they can't have shows there anymore. So Blitzkrieg, they are trying to find their new home. And honestly, man, I'm going to be truthful with you. This, really is a possibility that this could be the new home. Such a great vibe.
Absolutely, dude. And like, again, I think the only takeaway from like the venue and like how it's all like built together is the only downside. The ceilings are a little low, and they got this really dangerous projector in the way that a couple superstars almost smacked their head on during their entrances or the end. And they even like outlined it like that shit was scary. But again, that like Donnie said, it is a beautiful venue for an independent wrestling show. There's plenty of space. The bar's right fucking there behind you. We got fucking the restaurant conjoined with the building where you can get food and everything. They sell beer and some mixed drinks as well at the bar. The prices are pretty decent. They're definitely
Very
reasonable. So, man, like I said, there's nowhere you could go wrong going to a Blitzkrieg show, especially if that's going to be their home from now on, man. Like, I'm really for it.
Absolutely. And they are going to be back there on Friday, November 17th, which, Ben and I, we will be there with our,
Significant others.
loved ones. We're going to be, he's going to have his girl with him. I'm going to have my girl with me, and we're going to have a good time. So if you do, come out to Blitzkrieg Pro on Friday, November 17th, come say what's up to Ben and I.
Wait. It's a Friday, not a Saturday?
Friday night. Yep.
Oh, it's a Friday night? Cool. That's going to be fun.
Yes, sir. So now, with that being said, let's dive into the highlight of the week.
Okay. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
You know what? I'll go first, because usually I always ask you what your highlight of the week is.
What was your highlight of the week, bud?
My highlight of the week, I never thought I would see this day ever again. We have a potential of having SmackDown versus Raw again, because Adam Pearce is finally on one brand. He got promoted to general manager after all of these, hard, stressful days in the office. Man, I was seeing veins coming out of his freaking bald head. And now he gets to only worry about one brand. And we got the debut of Nick Aldis as the SmackDown general manager. And let me say this. I know there's a lot of people that want to see, the natural, treasure come back in the ring. But guys, this is incredible. And I think he held his own. I think he did a great job. I think that, man, I love him as the GM of SmackDown. I think it's a perfect fit.
I think the brand split, and the fact that it's actually happening now because Triple H has full creative control, and that's everything he's been hinting at, is that it's going to be split up again. Things are going to get interesting. So when, a Raw superstar does show up on SmackDown, it's going to be a big fucking deal again. We're getting, again, Nick Aldis, NWA fucking dude's going to be a fucking Hall of Famer one day.
Adam Pearce was NWA too.
He was. Yep. Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce, bro. So we got fucking Nick Aldis, who, again, legend, knows ins and outs of the business, which is great. Another creative mind on the team is always fucking welcome, especially somebody of his stature. And then you got Adam Pearce, who got drafted over to Raw, and now he's the fucking general manager of the flagship show, what started it all. And I feel like nobody's more deserving than Adam, and I'm really excited for the duo pair that we have for these brands, man. It's starting to feel like...
I like structure. This is exactly what has been missing for both brands, is that identity. And now you have Nick Aldis, on SmackDown. You have Adam Pearce on Raw, which honestly, this is going to make great television, because now Adam Pearce isn't being shoved in our face constantly. He's only going to be on the Raw brand. And I like this, because usually general managers, they make the show more entertaining.
Hell yeah, dude. And like I said, man, a lot of people...
Finally.
They give Adam Pearce a really bad rep, but the thing is, though, I feel like nobody's more deserving, especially in today's time. There's nobody better than fucking Adam Pearce, dude. Like, I genuinely love Adam Pearce. I think that he's a phenomenal workhorse for the company. I think he's an asset. I think his fucking on-screen character is great. I think he fits into the mold, man.
Under Triple H, his character has grown on me.
Yeah,
I will give you that.
Because one, it's a little bit less scripted.
Because during the Thunderdome era, I just wasn't behind him. I think because they just kept using him too much.
That and just Vince McMahon and the shit he had him do and say. Let this person breathe a little bit, let them get comfortable, and then know that you can depend on your boss. It really brings out the best in you, and I feel like that's what happened here. Triple H has brought the morale to an all-time fucking high, and so has fucking TKO, man, and Endeavor. By putting the fucking full creative control in Triple H's hands was the smartest move you could have ever made. And I'm going to tell you this right now, those millions viewership that we lost over the last 25 years, because 25 years ago, we had almost 10 million fucking people watching. We're down to 1.5 million. So with that being said, Triple H in full creative control, and the way that we're already going, the changes we're already starting to see happening rapidly, we're going to start building that viewership back up. And I'm really, really excited about it, because as a wrestling fan, this is brilliant. Every move that has been made to restructure this entire company has been for a win, and I'm fucking excited about it, man.
And to be honest with you, Nick Aldis finally getting an opportunity in WWE, even if it's not wrestling, I'm so happy for him because he's such an underrated worker. And
God.
honestly, I'm very excited, especially with his first interaction being with Dirty Dom and then saying,
Dominic,
taking
big
his hand,
fan
and he
of
said,
your father.
of your father, and the crowd going, oh, that's a great first impression, man.
And Dominic,
Love it.
the dude that gets the biggest heat in the company just by opening his fucking mouth, and the fact that you cannot hear him above the fucking crowd was even better. I'm just like, dude, yes, yes.
Dude, Nick Aldis being the SmackDown GM is easily my highlight of the week.
I need to say 100% too. I really want to give an honorable mention out here to Dom, because to have him in that position shows how much the company really fucking trusts him.
Dom's
and
killing
he deserves
it
this.
right now.
Fuck
Dom's killing it right
Fuck
now.
yeah, dude. Absolutely.
So, what's your highlight of the week?
Damn, I was gonna say Blitzkrieg until you got me hyped up on the Nick Aldis shit. I was gonna say
Dude, I've been
Blitzkrieg.
following his career, man, going all the way back to TNA
Yeah.
wrestling as
I,
the British Invasion, man.
I actually just caught the last like little leg of his NWA run. So like I was already familiar with Nick Aldis, and I already knew that
Dude,
he was
what
on
he
his
did
way.
for that 10 pounds of gold, man.
Yeah, dude.
So good.
Like I said, I've been following his journey because it's been known for a while that he was coming. We just didn't know in what capacity or how or when realistically. So seeing what they've done with him so far, and to introduce him, to have him speak on the mic and give a little bit of his personality out there, everything was just spot on, dude. Like they couldn't have done it any better, and I'm really, really excited for him.
And they're
I'm excited
kind
for
of
the future.
teasing the Raw versus SmackDown.
Oh,
friendly
Survivor
competition.
Series, let's go! Let's go! Survivor Series better be fucking lit again. Let's go! I'm so excited. Oh, that's my highlight of the week, though. I have to agree with you, man. Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce getting their respective GM on their own brands and the interaction, that really does put a promising picture for WWE going forward. So that I have to be with you on that.
And
one,
we
man.
both grew up on the Ruthless Aggression era, and we had Teddy Long and Eric Bischoff, man, as GMs.
Yes, and it warms my heart knowing we're going in such a great direction for the WWE universe again. I think we're in for some real treats coming soon, man. So let's get ready for it.
Time to be a pro wrestling fan, man. But with that being said, let's dive into the topics for the We Are Wrestling Podcast 79.
Yeah.
So, this past Wednesday on AEW Dynamite, Sting announced that he'll be retiring at AEW Revolution this February in 2024. What's your thoughts on this, and who should Sting's final opponent be?
So I think we've all known for a long time. They're obviously in the world of wrestling, passions have been reignited. I know we've heard like the 25th fucking headline about Ric Flair wanting to wrestle again, which is literally suicide. But the thing is, at this point, though, it makes sense. It feels like it's time. It's right to put an icon to bed for the last time. And I think I'm excited for him because the dude is reaching almost 70. He's already midway through his 60s almost. You really have to know when it's time. Like if you can still go for a little bit, because Sting can still go. We know that.
63 years old.
Exactly. So he's like his mid fucking 60s almost. So it's like he can still go, and he knows that. But I'm really proud of the fact that he already has a date in mind. He's gonna do it because he's ending while he's still Sting. And I'm really excited about that. As for a final opponent, I'm gonna go with Christian. I'm gonna go with Christian as his final opponent. That or Darby Allin. I would love Christian because of like where we're headed right now, and the fact that Sting was made such a big part of this promo between him and Adam. I think that Sting and Christian would be good, but I can also understand if it's going to be Darby Allin versus Sting, because Sting has been grooming Darby Allin his entire time in AEW. So I think that there's going to be a passing of the torch moment. So it's either that or Christian for me.
I really do like that a lot. So, my thoughts on, Sting announcing his retirement. I'm glad that he's able to, make that call, because I know in 2015, he even said it in his promo, retiring, in WWE, he had to due to an injury because of, the buckle bomb that he had with
Seth Rollins
at Night of Champions. And, it wasn't his call to retire. And it just didn't feel right. And he was able to get cleared from doctors And, he's had this incredible run in AEW. And one thing I have to give Tony Khan credit for, because I know all of us in, the wrestling podcast, world, we love to, criticize his booking decisions and, him barking out. But you got to give credit where it's due. He does a fantastic job when it comes to legends, booking them. And
I will
think
say Sting,
he's done a great job with, since, debuting at Winter is Coming.
that's literally like example number one. Sting is probably the best utilized veteran talent on TV currently. I can't really say much for anybody else. Minus like Edge, but like we're talking about like the older, excuse me, the older
but
wrestlers.
even like,
so like Sting,
but even like throughout, AEW's run, like I can even speak on this. I think they did a great job with Arn Anderson, with Cody Rhodes. I think Tully Blanchard, with FTR was great. Jake the Snake Roberts, he did really good with Lance Archer.
Well, I'm talking about fucking in-ring, bro. I'm not talking about like managerial roles. I'm talking about people that can still actively
I just think
go.
legends in general, I think Tony Khan does a great job with.
I think he does better than fucking WWE. Absolutely. Like
absolutely,
I can't
man.
stand
RVD,
him. But
he had 2 great matches in AEW.
Phenomenal matches. And even RVD fucking shows that he can still go, which is I'm like, damn, son. Like he can still fucking go. And he looks older, but he does not move older. I saw a couple spots, that I was like, all right, there's the rust, there's the age a little bit. Like when he tried to jump up and do his little turn thing when he's about to do the 5-star, he kind of botched it a little bit, but saved himself. But I'm like, yep, that's where the age is showing. But he can still fucking go too. And you're right. Tony Khan does nail utilizing legends.
Definitely. And I'm glad that Sting is able to, make this decision for himself, because I know it must be hard because, throughout his career, man, he, was everywhere. WCW,
New Japan,
the NWA, TNA, and then even WWE. He was even able to, perform at WrestleMania against
Sting.
Triple H.
Did he go to Japan at all?
He did do some stuff in Japan during
sweet.
his WCW times.
Yeah, man. Like I said, Sting, man, I'm so happy for him. And I'm so happy for him, like you said, it's a very rare case that somebody can really retire on their own terms. And Sting, man, he's had a beautiful ending to his career. He really was able to redeem his career going to AEW, which you don't hear me say a lot. A lot of people really kind of tarnish their shit going to AEW, especially with everything going on right now. But he really rolled with the punches, stayed to himself, did what was asked of him, was able to give fucking input, and is able to put this thing to bed in his own mind. And I'm really excited about that for him.
And he was able to have, some fun, crazy spots that he did as well.
Oh my god, yeah, dude. And like even when he dropped the fucking leg, was it Swerve? He fucking in that casket match or something that he was having. Fucking dude didn't even go through the fucking table, and he did it again, and he went through the fucking table. He handled it like a pro. And that's something that you don't get that nowadays very often, especially in the lot more seasoned and ready to retire wrestlers. Like Sting proved that he can still go, but I'm glad that he's putting the fucking immediate stop on it when he wants, when he's still Sting.
All right, so now my dream opponent for Sting. I have 3 of them.
Okay.
The first one, Jeff Jarrett, only because I did love their rivalry back in TNA around,
that's right.
2005, 2006. I think that they had, a great rivalry around that time, and they just have great chemistry, man.
I have a third one to add if you don't have it.
Go right ahead. I'll let you say who you want.
I want Jeff Hardy because I want him to redo Victory Road and do it the right way.
That's a good one.
Okay, good.
All right, so number 2, got to go with Darby Allin because obviously, they first started their careers together. So I think it would be a fun match to have Darby versus Sting. You don't have to do like a rivalry where like Darby, turns heel. Like have it be like a passing of the torch. Have it as like that dream match.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, Darby is just, you don't have to turn him into a heel. You don't have to turn Sting into a heel. Like it could just be like, hey, it's my final match. Are you down? Like, I would be fucking honored. I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to give it my all. I might hurt you, but at the end of it, man, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. So, yeah, man, that's a good one.
Do a tag match, I would have him and Darby versus FTR. Just because FTR, they like to work the old school style. And honestly, I think Sting, being in the ring with like Dax and Cash, who, have a lot of, ring knowledge, like Sting, I think that they could put on a fantastic match. And then obviously with Darby Allin doing the crazy shit that he does, it'll make the match, I think, a 5-star.
See, I feel like
But I do want it to be a singles match for his last match.
Oh yeah, if it's the last match, you gotta make it about Sting.
Yeah.
But Jeff Jarrett, dude, fuck yeah. Jeff Jarrett all day, man.
Because Jeff Jarrett was able to work with Ric Flair in his final match.
And he's fucking in like the most immaculate shape of his life. Like the dude is great shape for almost fucking 70. Like damn.
Well, I'm going to tell you this right now, though. If we're doing Jeff Jarrett and Sting, I do want to, say this as well.
What up?
He better not have Sanjay Dutt. He better not have Satnam Singh. He better not have... He could have Jay Lethal by his side. He can have Karen Jarrett. But get the other two goons away from him.
I understand.
I want Jarrett to be taken more serious, man.
I can get behind that completely.
But, with that being said, let's move on now to the next topic here for this week's episode.
Let's do it. Seattle, boy, home of Darby Allin and the home of fucking coffee. Let's get it.
Absolutely. But we got some NWA news. It's been a minute. Billy Corgan announced that NWA signed a 2-year TV deal with the CW. The two programs that are slated to air on the network will be NWA Power and a reality show about the day-to-day behind-the-scene business of the National Wrestling Alliance. What's your thoughts on this TV news?
So one, NWA has bred a lot of the legends we know, like some of the likes of Ric Flair. Nick Aldis just joined the fucking crew. I'm pretty sure LA Knight was in NWA for a little bit, right?
Yep. Eli Drake.
Eli Drake was in NWA. Fucking Molina was in NWA a couple of years back. There's so many people
Your
that
boy
came
Rob
from...
Conway.
Exactly. No, there's a lot of people that came from this promotion, and I feel like it's taken its hits over the years. But now that they got a TV deal again, you're going to see light shined on a lot of these people that really do deserve some spotlight and some credit and some exposure. And I'm really, really excited about that. And another thing I'm really excited about is that reality show, because I love documentaries. I love seeing how things operate from the inside.
Man.
Exactly. Same here, except for fucking reality shows like Total Divas. I can't fucking stand it. But
love that shit. I'm a fucking mark.
Shit like fucking, the day-to-day productions, seeing how shows produced in the backstage areas, how storylines come together, who's really in charge of producing certain matches. I'm excited about those things, and I love those things. And I think another thing that's really like revamped my love for them is the WWE documentaries that we've been getting. They've been on fucking fire lately. So it's like, yeah, dude, I want more. I want to watch more shit, so I'm excited about it. It's a different kind of angle.
Here's why I'm very excited about this. Tyrus has retired at the perfect time, because I don't know if I'd be able to watch NWA Power if Tyrus was still holding the 10 pounds of gold. I am happy that EC3 has the title. I see that he is doing a lot of, good things with it right now. Here's why, dude. Tyrus, oh man, I don't want to get in on it.
You might as well. We're on a podcast, bud. Oh, so we're on a podcast. That's what we talk about.
Man. Overrated. The man can't work. His best run was being a Funkasaurus with, the Funkadactyls and, coming out to Somebody Call My Mama. The dude is not a world champion material.
You really don't like Tyrus. Okay.
I really don't, man.
That's okay.
Now, as a person, seems like a very nice person.
But as a wrestler.
What he's doing right now in Fox is great. And, he's always been a solid worker, but I just don't see him as a main event guy. And he didn't really do anything with the 10 pounds of gold during that run. They only gave him the title because literally he's on Fox.
I feel like he could have had a better career and a better run.
They picked Tyrus over Nick Aldis.
Like I said, I feel like Tyrus would have had a better run had he been trained properly by the right people. If he may have... This is going to sound kind of fucked up, but I don't mean it like that. If he hit the gym a little more and shaped out a little bit.
No, there's nothing wrong with like the weight of him. But
no, it's not the weight. It's just the look.
His problem was like the way he wanted to be booked. Like he's had issues, and that's why like he wanted to be booked as like one of those dominant, typical big men in the business. And sometimes like what he had in WWE, man, was fantastic. Like
he was the next Dusty Rhodes almost, dude.
Pretty much, here's who I would have compared him to. He could have been easily the next Rikishi.
Yeah, 100%.
But then, he didn't like the creative direction they were going with him. So then, he went to Impact Wrestling. He was basically, a big guy for, EC3. And then, he wanted to be in the main event picture. They didn't want him in there. So then basically he left Impact Wrestling. And then in NWA, Billy Corgan gave him the opportunity. And, he was able to, finish off his career, which I'm very happy he was able to do that for, his career. I'm just not the biggest fan of, his work.
Okay, and like I said, I
especially
can get
a
behind that.
prestigious championship like the National, Wrestling Alliance Heavyweight Championship, man, the 10 pounds of gold.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, all jokes aside, this is a fantastic move for the NWA. And when, NWA Power, first came out and Billy Corgan, rebuilt the NWA, I was watching it consistently. I really enjoyed it. I think Nick Aldis as, the world champion, the 10 pounds of gold, I think was a great move for them. I think, seeing guys like Trevor Murdoch, who, we knew him best, in, his tag team run with Lance Cade,
RIP,
being, a main event guy over there, seeing Matt Cardona, seeing, our boy, VSK. I really loved, like, what the NWA was doing, but, like, after the whole Nick Aldis thing, man, like, I just lost interest in NWA.
Hey, man.
And
it's not for
dude,
everybody.
like, he was so perfect for the brand. And they decided to pick Tyrus over him. And that's maybe why I feel the way I feel about Tyrus. But I am going to give this a shot because, like I always say here on the podcast, I want all of these wrestling promotions to succeed because the more wrestling is out there, the better it is for our job. And for us fans, because, like, everybody complains about, like, AEW's crowds. I keep seeing the fucking stupid pictures of, like, the whole hard cam area. I'm sick of it. Who gives a shit? If you enjoy it, enjoy it. Like the Tuesday Night Wars, that was fun. It was fun going on here doing a live watch along, watching both shows at the same time. Seeing, WWE like have John Cena and The Undertaker go against regular typical matches. It was fun. Just have fun with it. And like, I will say this. I wish it was Impact Wrestling that got this deal because, man, I want Impact to get on a better TV deal than Anthem.
It's not, Access TV, right?
I am really happy for, the guys and the girls that work for, Billy Corgan, because this is just more opportunities for, the pro wrestling business to grow.
That, and I'm just happy for Billy Corgan too, because now maybe he might be able to be taken seriously. So it's a win-win for all of us wrestling fans.
You want to know how toxic wrestling fans are before we move on to our next topic?
Dog, I know, but what's the reasoning today?
There's fans that literally think the NWA is going to be AEW in the ratings now.
All right, next topic. CW. All right, next topic. Next topic. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Next topic.
The NWA, like, here's the thing, like, AEW guys, like, they are getting solid, 700K to like 900K views, on Dynamite.
Yeah.
And NWA, I bet they're probably going to get like maybe 200,000 viewers, which honestly for them is going to be
way
good.
Fucking better. Yeah, you're going to be getting at least, production value going up. But I'm going to end it for me on this note and just say the same fucking stupid people that thought AEW was going to blow WWE out of the water are the same people that are saying that fucking NWA is about to blow AEW out of the water. You're fucking ludicrous. You're fucking delusional if you think that.
And there's a reason why AEW guys is number 2, because obviously they are on a big, network, and Tony Khan's got the money. And
that's what I'm saying.
The superstars.
What are the fucking what is the one common factor between WWE and AEW that NWA does not have? A billionaire in charge. So no, just by that alone,
pretty much. But still, NWA getting this, opportunity.
Big
congratulations, seriously. And honestly, when they go on a network, I finally can watch episodes. I'm definitely going to give it a shot. And honestly, I can't wait. Moving on now to the next topic. Last Saturday, Logan Paul defeated Dylan Dennis in their boxing bout. After the fight, Logan Paul called out Rey Mysterio for a shot at the United States Championship. The The rumor is this match will be taking place at Crown Jewel. What's your thoughts on this?
So I know that we've talked about this over the last week since, obviously he called him out. My first initial thought was, okay, Logan's going to take that U.S. title. And then at some point, probably at WrestleMania, we're going to see LA Knight versus Logan Paul for the U.S. title. And that's going to be fucking LA Knight's first big title in WWE. Which is, honestly, it suits him. And it's going to look fucking great around his waist. So I can't wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm excited because Rey Mysterio and Logan Paul, who has proved that he can fucking go, the dude can literally hang with anybody in the ring. I mean, he's taken on the likes of Ricochet and Roman Reigns, who are completely core opposite type of fucking, not only just body form, but movesets. He can work with anybody. So to see Rey Mysterio put over Logan Paul, I think that that's going to be a really fun match. I really think it is.
Hey, they did show a lot of potential, too, in that tag match, too,
Yeah,
at
man.
WrestleMania.
Exactly.
So here's what I got to say, man. Any publicity is great publicity, man.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Logan Paul taking advantage of that opportunity and, calling out Ray, I think was great headliners. And it made, some noise because everybody knows who the hell Rey Mysterio is. So, of course, people are going to pay attention. And honestly, I do want Logan Paul to win the U.S. title against Ray because I think having Logan Paul as the champion going all the way to WrestleMania, that is great for press conferences. That is great for, the media. And you're going to get a lot of attention towards Mania season. And then you have LA Knight get his first major championship win at the biggest stage of them all. That is a great way to start, his career because a lot of people also forget. Because I know a lot of people are saying, they want LA Knight to be the world champion. They want him to be the WWE champion right now. But we need to take our time with this. And
Gotta let him cook.
a lot of people forget. John Cena, man, 16-time world champion. He won his very first championship at WrestleMania 20 against the Big Show, and it was the United States Championship.
And then
So
that
LA
following
Knight,
year,
you can do that.
that following year,
honestly,
he won his first
man,
WWE.
Dude, Logan Paul versus LA Knight, they can definitely tell a story for Mania.
Oh, fuck.
That is a WrestleMania match right there.
Both
Because
are great on the
imagine
mic, too.
promo battles these two are going to have. All the media attention. This is what, WrestleMania needs. And honestly, I kind of want Logan Paul to win the U.S. title. I think that this would be great for WWE.
I do too, man. I'm completely on board with you.
Yeah, and honestly, man, I love that he took advantage of this. And, Rey Mysterio now is doing interviews with ESPN and, doing stuff, saying like, tune in the Friday night. I'm always there. Let's see when he's going to show up. Like, honestly,
Friday.
man, it's got me very excited.
Tonight,
Yeah,
he's scheduled to be there tonight. So I'm excited.
Guys, by then, this match might be announced by the time this podcast does come out.
Yeah, buddy.
Man, but look at that. We have the script, baby. But guys, with that being said, man, we'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling Podcast 79.
Hey everybody, it's Hall of Famer Devon Dudley here. And when I'm not putting people through tables or testifying, I am listening to one of the greatest podcasts in the world. We Are Wrestling Podcast. Check it out. Testify.
Are you looking for wrestling content? Well, We Are Wrestling provides everything pro wrestling. The best one, Donnie, Gins, and the Load Rager Ben, are wrestling marks like you who love this sport. We Are Wrestling has it all when it comes to wrestling content. We have different podcasts, vlogs, reactions, full wrestling matches, live pay-per-view watch-alongs, interviews, predictions, and so much more. Only on We Are Wrestling. What are you waiting for? Subscribe and become a We Are Wrestling Maniac now. We're back, and every week on the We Are Wrestling Podcast, we do this thing called Comment of the Week. And all you have to do is go to the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel and leave a comment. But unfortunately, I did not have enough time to read comments this week because I was blowing my nose.
Oh, shit.
My eyes were hurting. My sinuses were messing up.
That's all good, man.
Unfortunately, there will be no comment of the week.
You thought. I got it covered this week, guys. So as you know, Comment of the Week is one of our favorite segments here on the We Are Wrestling channel. And today, your boy found the Comment of the Week. And it is on our extra of Tony Khan needing to stop his online shenanigans. And on that video,
extra, that is a hot take episode.
That is a hot take, rather. Sorry. And this comment at Miss Temple. How's everybody's father feeling today? How's everybody's father feeling today? And my answer to that is I have no clue. He left 20 years ago for a pack of cigs and he never came back, so I couldn't tell you. How's your dad feeling today, Donnie?
A lot better than me. He's at Atlantic City right now. I'm sitting here blowing my nose on the podcast.
Oh, shit. Oh. Who knows? But according to Avengers 6 that's coming out, this was the big quote. People that you thought were going to be gone forever are going to be coming back in that shit. So imagine my surprise when a portal opens and my dad walks out with a pack of ciggies. I'll let you know in 2026, y'all. Woo! I had to. I'm sweating.
Sorry, man. This is what I've been doing all week, man. I've been freaking getting the boogers out of my nose.
Oh God.
So what was the comment? That was like literally all it was
how's everybody's father feeling today? Question mark.
Dude, Christian Cage is on a whole nother level right now.
Some of his best work, period, that he's ever done in his entire fucking career, and I have been enjoying my life just watching all of it, bro, because he's been savage about it, especially with Nick Wayne. My God. My God.
Did you see the segment on Dynamite with Nick Wayne and his mom? Come here, son.
Come here, son.
Honestly, that is such a great comment, but I'm not even lying to you guys, literally. My dad is at Atlantic City right now, having the time of his life while I'm sitting here blowing my nose.
Oh, he's vibing. But at Miss Temple, congratulations for your comment of the week. And like we say every week, in order to get your comment featured right here on the We Are Wrestling podcast, all you got to do is go through our videos, leave a great comment, and you might have a chance of being featured right here.
That is right. But now, getting back into the topics for this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast, the PWI Top 10 Women of 2023 were announced. So normally every year to Pro Wrestling Illustration, they have a magazine that comes out and they usually do like the top 500 wrestlers, which obviously we covered at, a long time ago on the podcast. This year, Seth Rollins, he got the #1 spot. Roman Reigns got #2. Jon Moxley got #3. And this week, we actually got the top 10 women. So here is the list.
Yeah.
And some of these names I've never heard of before. So if I get them wrong, I'm not sorry. At number 10, we have Jordan Grace. At number 9, we have Carmella. She's Camilla, which I believe she is a wrestler for the NWA. She was like their champion for like 500 days. At number 8, we have Willow Nightingale. At number 7, we have Deonna Purrazzo. At number 6,
Impact.
Athena. Number 5,
Ember Moon.
Tam Nakino.
Okay.
At number 4, we have Jamie Hayter. At number 3, Bianca Belair.
Makes sense.
At number 2, somebody from Stardom that I've never heard of before, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce her name.
Try your best.
Giulia.
Giulia?
Yep, Giu.
Bro, it's Julia. It's just Julia. It's just a different spelling. Yeah, Julia.
Why would you spell Julia G-I and not
Bro,
with the J?
there is a lot of questionable fucking pronunciations and spelling of a lot of names, bro. I definitely understand where you're coming from, though.
Oh, man. I just didn't want to botch the name. But at number 1, we have Mommy Rhea Ripley. What are your thoughts on the list?
Honestly, it makes sense. I have heard a lot of those names before, and a lot of those women definitely do deserve it. Like, for example, Athena, Ember Moon, formerly Ember Moon, she's underrated as fuck. So, with her spot, I'm actually really happy with that.
Doing shit on Ring of Honor that nobody watches.
Unfortunately. I will say 100% Rhea Ripley being number 1. great choice. You know, she's definitely had a lot of improvement ever since joining the Judgment Day, because if anything, she's the unofficial leader. Like, she's running the show, and her fucking promo work, her mic skills have fucking hellaciously improved. Like, she's a better version of China. Like, she could do everything China couldn't, and I love that. But as for the rest of the list, you know, Jordan Grace, number 10, that makes sense. I mean, she kind of ruined her reputations for her comments about Chris Benoit, but she also built her reputation with her fucking body transformation, which is fucking incredible. You know, I'll have to give it to her. Deanna Parazzo, you know, she was a pretty big name last year, like, circulating. So honestly, I feel really good. I will say 100% that this is a really good stacked list.
I got to say, I'm very happy that Willow Nightingale got on this list at number 8. She's, you know, been definitely one of the bigger standouts in the AEW women's division. But one person I feel like should be on this list that is not on this list, man, that I'm very surprised with, Chris Statlander, man. Oh, wait, nope. I take that back because I forgot. Usually they do the list from like the beginning of like the summer to
And she
like
was
the end
gone
of the
for a
summer,
while, right?
and she was injured with the
Yeah.
ACL. So I totally forgot about that. That's why Charlotte's not even on the top 10.
Timing's everything, man.
But honestly, man, Rhea Ripley being number 1, there's nobody else that's like in like her, you know, category right now.
Nobody is, women wise, there's nobody on her fucking level right now.
Nobody. Absolutely nobody. But I gotta say, like, I'm okay with this list. Nothing, you know, is
I wouldn't
getting me
change it.
kind of mad. Jamie Hayter at number 4, I really do like that a lot because she, you know, was one of the breakout, you know, women wrestlers of, you know, 2023. And she's had a great run. So I'm very happy. I'm pretty happy with this list. I can't argue. I can't be mad about it.
No,
But
not at
Toni
all.
Storm should be on this list. I will say that.
Yeah, I got you.
But, you know, congratulations to all, you know, the top 10 PWI, you know, women of 2023.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely going to have to do some research on Julia because I didn't even know how to pronounce her name.
No
I've
problem,
never saw a GI in there.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day, man. But moving on now to the next topic here. This past Monday on Raw, we saw the Judgment Day win back the WWE Tag Team Championships. What's your thoughts on this move?
Fucking dumb, and I don't even want to talk about it. Fucking dumb, and I genuinely don't even want to talk about it. But
I have 3 words to say about this.
what the fuck? That's for me. What the fuck?
Told you so.
For me, it's what the
Because
fuck.
I said this, man. Jey Uso and Cody, they were going to be transitional champions. I knew that they weren't going to have a long title run.
And that's cool, but back to the Judgment Day, like, you might as well give it to somebody else that deserves it. You know, like maybe an established tag team, or, you know, even on a whim of a tag team that's going to be built. Like, I would have rather that. But, you know, I guess going back to Judgment Day, whatever, dominant fucking stable. They're trying to build them to be the next bloodline. It's kind of working, but yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
I'm glad that at least you're admitting the truth, man. It is working.
Yeah, it is working. So,
But honestly, I did like how they did this, though, because they did have, you
It
know,
froze it with Jey
Jimmy
and Jimmy.
come from the crowd and super kick Jay, which I think is definitely pointing signs that we are getting this match at WrestleMania 40.
especially when Jay fucking eliminates Jimmy from the Rumble.
But it makes sense, like, that they did this because even on SmackDown, we had the stare down with Cody, Jay, and Roman and Jimmy and, you know, the bloodline there. So
We
it
did.
definitely, you know, made some interesting story, and it makes sense why Roman would have Jimmy show up on Raw, because technically, if you are the undisputed tag team champions, you're allowed to go on both brands, Raw and SmackDown. But now Jay and Cody, they, you know, cannot go to SmackDown because they technically don't have the titles. But I'm sure WWE, they'll find some way to get them on SmackDown. They always do, but
Always.
I'm looking at it from a logical standpoint here, and honestly, it makes sense. And I kind of wish, though, it was JD McDonough and Finn Balor. I would have preferred them winning the tag titles, and then Damian Priest focus more on that Money in the Bank briefcase. But I feel like they're not rushing with that, which we're just going to have to wait and see. But yeah, I know a lot of people, they are not happy whatsoever with this. But man, WWE and AEW, man, they're playing hot potato with the titles. Our last topic before we dive into the getting put over segment and the main event topic, Shane McMahon's son, Declan McMahon, who's a freshman running back at Indiana University, was asked about a possibility if he would ever step foot inside the WWE ring, and said this: When you come up in this business and seen it, I'm never ruling it out. I would love to get in the ring maybe a couple times. You have to see if the opportunity presents itself. It's all about the story, but we'll see. And pretty much in the interview, he was talking about how, right now he's currently focusing on, school and he's just playing it year by year. Would you like to see Declan McMahon, step foot in, the family business?
Fuck no. Last thing I need is another rich-ass, whiny, bitch-ass McMahon fucking ruining the goddamn company that his fucking grandfather so graciously built and fucking his son destroyed. Yeah, that's the last thing I want to that's the first thing I want to see is another bitch-ass fucking rich kid take over the show because he's a fucking McMahon. No, I don't want to fucking see it, dude. That's boring as shit and his son looks like a little bitch.
Oh, come on.
That's boring
man.
as shit, dude. No, it's boring. Shane McMahon got boring when he came back this last time, dude. He got boring as fuck. The last good match he had was, I think, with the Undertaker. I don't know if it was the Undertaker, but actually, I think it was the Undertaker where he dove off. That was the last good match. Other than that,
I disagree,
he
man.
became
The
fucking
last good
boring.
match that Shane McMahon had was against The Miz at WrestleMania. I thought that was a really
You're also
good match.
looking at somebody who can't stand The Miz and can't stand Shane O'Mac. So I don't agree with you.
Dude, Shane O'Mac. Dude, I love Shane O'Mac, man.
Ever
like,
since
what he
Shane,
brings.
listen,
He's so different.
that's cool, but after, like, I was already bored as shit with him after the Miz match, but the moment that he threw himself in the Rumble is when I fucking like, all right, he's just another snobby ass bitch ass McMahon. He's another fucking Vince. Here we go. Making the show to fucking be about him. So like, no, I think he's a bitch ass motherfucker too. So no, no, I'm not interested. I don't listen. I would be cool if his son jumped in the ring and got decimated by Roman Reigns. That's the one time where I'll be happy about it. He gets fucking squashed like a goddamn ant and doesn't fucking come back again. That's where I'm happy with it. And I want him to get legitimately fucking injured. So yeah, no. I want to see him break his fucking leg. So no.
Come on, dude. Don't wish injuries upon people, man.
I wish injury upon Shane McMahon's son.
What has he ever done to you personally?
Be a little whiny bitch ass, rich snobby ass bitch. And also getting an opportunity handed to him because it's his family's business. Sorry, but there's a lot of other people that genuinely deserve that fucking shot that don't get shine the light of day. Last thing I want to see is another snobby rich kid get their fucking way. So no.
So I will say this because like I get where you're coming from. I do.
Yeah.
But okay, no, I get what you're saying here, and I'm just gonna,
I think I just flabbergasted him, y'all.
You have. Honestly, I'm going to say this. Usually when it comes to, somebody getting an opportunity to, be on WWE or be on AEW or, one of those main, shows, I want people from the independent circuit more than somebody that's an athlete, like a former, basketball player or a wrestler. And I think that's why a lot of people are behind, Gable Steveson. They're trying to make him the next Kurt Angle, and nobody's freaking buying it.
I'm sorry,
Literally,
but that
Baron
works.
Corbin, man, was getting chanted over him.
That's cool, but like Gable Steveson, that makes way more fucking sense than just fucking throwing in another McMahon that nobody fucking wants to see.
No, but
but nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Gable Steveson didn't earn that WWE contract.
But he's not a fucking McMahon, so to me, it doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm sorry, but the thing is, he did earn that contract.
Just because he's a generational, person, like
Gable
that shouldn't,
Steveson,
take away from that.
Bro, you're comparing an Olympic fucking athlete to a fucking snobby ass rich boy's son. You're comparing the two.
He's playing Division
garbage.
1 football. That is wrong.
Okay, and congratulations. And how did he fucking pay for that fucking
He's technically an athlete, man. He got a scholarship.
Congratulations, but how did he pay for that tuition in the first place? His daddy. Suck my dick. I'm sorry,
but you don't have to pay tuition if you get a scholarship.
Well, regardless or not,
probably the training camps and all that stuff. Yeah, probably.
He won't go through training camps. He's not going to go to the performance center. He's just going to get thrown into a fucking match at WrestleMania because he's a fucking McMahon. So no, I'm good with it, dude.
I don't think Declan. I don't think that would happen with him. I
think
really
this is the first time where you and I are not going to meet a fucking middle ground here.
Hey, that's all good, man. The podcast, of course, when it comes to pro wrestling, this is why I love the We Are Wrestling podcast, because, of course, this is what we're talking about is pro wrestling. Yeah. And at times, we're going to see eye to eye with things, but there's other times where we're going to have different opinions on things. And obviously, I can see, where you're coming from. And I'm sure, you're not going to admit it, but you could see some of the things I'm saying involved.
I can't. I can't. I'm genuinely gonna be with you, man. I'm being as authentic and as honest with you as I possibly can, dude. I genuinely believe the fucking kid does not deserve it at all. I really genuinely
Okay, but
believe that he
what
does not
if-
deserve it.
But here's the thing, though. A lot of people say that Logan Paul didn't deserve it.
Logan Paul spent his life being a superstar outside of fucking YouTube. The dude went through boxing. The dude's a fucking well-known actor. The dude also does mixed martial arts. Like,
Well,
the
did you
dude
have your
is
doubts
ridiculous.
But did you have your doubts before he made his debut?
No, because the dude
I
self-made
thought
himself.
you hated. Wait,
I think
I
he
could be
was a
wrong.
bitch.
Did you hate the Pauls before he like?
I
wrestled?
hated Logan for what he did about the fucking the Japanese suicide forest. That
Yeah.
fucked me up because I'm like, dude, for somebody who deals with shit like that, that was not fucking okay. But
Mhm.
in terms of him deserving this opportunity more, absolutely, because Logan Paul is self-made. He self-made himself. Where D-Clan, or how the fuck you pronounce his bitch ass name, is just literally another daddy cocksucker for me. So I don't think he deserves it at all. Cool athlete, whatever, but you're not going to convince me with another McMahon. You're not. You can't.
So here's here now that I tried to
You tried.
I tried, but it didn't work. But now I do want to give my like genuine thoughts on this.
Go ahead, buddy.
I actually think that this would be pretty cool to see him step foot in the ring because obviously, the McMahons, they go all the way back, man, to Vince McMahon's father. He was the one that, created the WWF. And, Vince McMahon, changed the business. And, seeing what he did, with, the WWE. And then even getting to see like Shane O'Mac, he didn't really do a lot behind the scenes, but
he's had his moments.
He was a pretty cool performer.
Yeah,
The reason I think why I really like Shane O'Mac was because he wasn't that typical wrestler, man. Like he was basically like a spot guy before, spots were a thing, man.
Yeah.
And it was cool
Coast to
because
coast, bro.
nobody was doing it. Shane O'Mac stood out on his own and he earned everything in his career.
And that's Shane. We're talking about his son. That's
now
Shane.
getting into his son, just because he grew up, in a McMahon, family, I can't, take away, anything from him because we haven't seen anything yet from him. And like, if he does, get things handed to him, then obviously I'm going to call out the bullshit like it is.
So
That's what I do here on the podcast. But honestly, I'm kind of excited because when they did show that clip of Declan and, his football team there, that was actually a really cool moment, man. Because I remember, seeing him, come out with his brothers and Shane for, his WrestleMania match.
yeah.
And honestly, man, like, I think that Declan, like, I look at, the pictures from, his freshman, football team, man. And honestly, I think that he gets the proper training in the Performance Center. He's already an athlete playing, in Division I football, which a lot of people, if you watch football and stuff, you would know that it is a pretty big deal because it takes a lot of talent to get there. Honestly, man, I think that he definitely has the potential of being, a solid, professional wrestler.
All right.
But
So I'm going to.
It's all going to depend on, the work ethic that, he puts in.
This is the only thing that'll ever convince me. And the thing is, like I've always said on this podcast, I am very comfortable admitting when I'm wrong. But the only way you're going to convince me, or anybody's going to convince me that this kid deserves fucking anything, is you take all of those things away from him and make him build himself back up from the fucking bottom without a McMahon name next to his fucking next to him. Like, you literally take everything away. Take away your scholarship, take away your funding, take away all of that shit. Start at the very bottom and work your way the fuck up. Do an indies run, get to fucking the Performance Center, go through NXT, main roster, but make sure you can fucking hang and you did it the right way, because there is way too many fucking people that should have gotten a goddamn opportunity that didn't. So to just hand it to Shane McMahon's son, suck my dick.
And you see, now
Suck my
I
dick.
agree. No, but now you see that? The way you said that, I agree now with what you're saying. Because now you're not coming at him because he's a McMahon son. You're pretty much telling him that but pretty much you're telling me, you're not saying that, oh, he's a bitch ass boy that gets everything handed to him. Now you're saying that he, needs to go out there and he needs to earn his stripes. And I agree with you. He needs to go out there and earn his stripes. I could find a common ground with that.
But you know that that's not the case, and you know for a fact that that is not going to happen. He's going to go
But here's
straight
another
to the
thing we don't
Performance
know,
Center.
Ben. We don't even know if he's ever going to step
But
foot
if
in the
he
ring.
does,
Because
you know
remind
his
you,
ass
in
is going straight
football,
to
he still
performance.
has 3 more years left, and a lot
Cool.
can change within those, next 3 to 5 years.
And I will commend that to him. Again, if he can strip his name away and everything that could add him to it and not put him in the performance center just because he's a McMahon, then maybe I'll be convinced. But right now, to just throw him into the performance center and then have him debut on fucking SmackDown, no, suck my dick. No, absolutely
But
not.
I don't think WWE would do that, man, because you have to be, you have to know, like, no, Ben, no, don't do that to me, Ben.
WWE has done a lot of fuck shit lately, so I don't care.
Yeah, but in the ring, dude, you have to put people that actually know how to take a bump and, safety, because
Absolutely.
in pro wrestling, man, safety always comes first.
Oh, 100,000%.
And they're not going to have him take a bump or anything if he doesn't go through the basic training.
Okay.
But that's the thing, like, he just did this interview recently and he's pretty much playing it ear by ear. And I definitely think this is interesting because obviously this would be a 4th generational talent, man.
I just wish it was somebody else. I just wish it was somebody else. That's the only thing I'll say is I just wish it was somebody else.
I hear you, man.
And it's unfortunate because I know we're ending this topic and going to the getting put over segment and we're just talking about another one, but it's for a completely different reason.
Oh my God, I just forgot. Oh.
So,
all right, guys, so we'll be... Before we dive into the getting put over segment and the main event topic, we'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling podcast. Ben, you're not making yourself look good at all in this situation. I'm going to go blow my nose. We'll be right back.
What's cracking lacking, everybody? WWE Hall of Famer, the Godfather here, and you're listening to, that's right, you are listening to We Are Wrestling Podcast. Check them out, man. Stay on that smoke train.
Collecting has always had a special place in my heart, going all the way back to when I was a kid. I remember my parents taking me to Toys R Us and waking up on Christmas morning to a bunch of new action figures. I had bins filled with thousands of rare WWE, WCW, ECW, and TNA figures through the years until, unfortunately, I ended up selling my whole childhood without knowing the true value of my collection. 2 years after I made that horrible decision, the pandemic hit, and I realized there was a part of me that felt missing, and that was collecting. My whole life, I've loved collecting wrestling figures, wrestling memorabilia, classic video games, Nickelodeon stuff, sneakers, Funko Pops, and even Angry Birds. As time went by, I decided I wanted to get back into collecting, except this time, document it and rebuild my collection over on Best One Donnie. So, if you want to go back into time and relive my nostalgic memories, subscribe now. We're back, and every week on the We Are Wrestling podcast, we have this new segment called the Getting Put Over segment, where once a week, Ben and I, we alternate and we pick a current we pick a former or a current or even, a future superstar that we want to put over, and we talk about their highlights of their career and some of our favorite matches, some of our favorite moments. And this week, Ben, it is your turn, and who are we putting over?
So in the last segment, I just buried
You want
a
to change
McMahon.
your mind, Ben?
No, I'm not changing my
totally
mind.
okay
Nope,
with it.
Nope. So the last segment y'all saw, I buried a McMahon single-handedly. In this segment, the Getting Put Over
McMahon
segment,
hasn't even done anything yet, guys.
I'm putting one over that has
That
been
ain't football.
that cannot be buried at all. So this week on the Getting Put Over segment, we are talking about the one, the only, the boss himself, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. I needed to talk about Vince for a reason.
Before you give that reason,
Yeah.
you know that we're putting over somebody that likes to bury people.
Yeah, and I just buried his fucking grandson, so it's okay. It's okay. I just buried his grandson, so it's all right. He ain't the only fucking one, so whatever. Donnie's gonna blow his nose again, y'all.
the way you went about that. I fucking just buried his grandson.
We really structured this show so epically. We buried one McMahon, now we're putting over another one.
And it's the McMahon that should not be getting put
No,
over.
it is the McMahon, and this is why we're putting him over. Because this McMahon actually did shit. Whether it was for good or bad, he did shit. So, all right. I wanted to talk about Vince in an all seriousness, all jokes aside. I wanted to talk about Vince because the other day, I'm pretty sure a lot of other people can relate to this. You'll scroll through shorts and everything, and those Mary on a Cross edits, where you see like wrestlers then and like currently, and then like where their prime was, and then like you have that song.
Oh, like the little
playing.
timeline things?
Yeah. So I saw one of Vince's, and it showed his current shit and like him taking the awful bump from Stone Cold, him just aging. And then it said then, and his match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 22, his fucking feud with Austin, his Kiss My Ass Club with William Regal, it just moments like that made me realize, man, Vince McMahon is one of the greatest heels of all time and one of the greatest characters that has ever graced our wrestling screens.
Oh,
It's
there's
just
no
a fact.
question about it. Nobody was a bigger villain than Vince McMahon.
And that's what I'm saying. And he still gets massive
McMahon.
pops, bro. And it's unfortunate to say that Mr. McMahon, the character, is gone. He won't be showing up on our screens anymore. He's already said it in the TKO merger fucking press conference. It's done. He's done being Mr. McMahon. That character is long and gone. Or in his words, as he said, Mr. McMahon is dead. I want to talk about that because it's like, regardless of all the bad publicity he currently deserves, obviously, and all of the bad shit he did, there is no denying that he is single-handedly the reason why we are the marks we are today. He graced our childhoods with entertainment that could be contained and be produced by no other. He made some of the greatest choices. He made some of the shittiest choices. He's made some of the most questionable real-life choices. But the thing is, though, there is nobody that will ever fill the shoes of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. There is nobody.
In this segment, we're putting over the character.
The character, not the person, the character. And slightly the person, because I would be fucking lying to you if I told you that the day that we find out that he has left this earth, that I'm not going to cry for a week straight, because I will. And I'm probably going to end up in a Vince McMahon wormhole. So he's one of the greatest, and we really do have to, all of his.
I can't even argue with what
aside.
You're saying, man, because it is the truth.
Mm-hmm. Like
I think a lot of people are afraid to, admit the truth when it comes to Vince McMahon because of all the shit that has came out about him, throughout the years.
Even his face run with fucking Triple H against Legacy was fucking incredible. With him, Shane, fucking Triple H against fucking Randy Orton, Ted DiBiase Jr. and fucking Cody. Like, that was incredible to me when Randy was like, fucking handcuffed fucking Triple H to the ring post and kissed Stephanie after giving her a DDT. Like, I loved what they did with Vince. Vince being an active performer, like the
they
dude
put
to
that
this day
over man around that time, and
he
it was Vince that did it.
Still fucking ripped at his age, man. Like, the dude has done so many things for the world of wrestling, not even just WWE, because he's inspired the likes, again, of Tony Khan, Billy Corgan. All of these fucking wrestling promoters know who Vince McMahon is, and his track record speaks for itself. The stories he's given us, that even included himself, are some of the most memorable moments in all of wrestling history, and wrestling would not be on the map like it is today, and we would not have the crazy fan base it has today if it was not for Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
And you do make a valid point there, and I'm going to add something as well, because the Super Bowl for professional wrestling is WrestleMania, and Vince McMahon was the man behind the idea of WrestleMania. He put all of his eggs in one basket for that very first WrestleMania. He took a chance, and it paid off, and it made WWE what it is exactly today. And we're about to be going to, 40, man.
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania 40. 40 years of this. And it's all because of one evil genius. And, I do want to, talk about Vince, some of the highlights, throughout, his run in WWE as a character.
Yeah.
Because I do think that, the Attitude Era, man, they would have never beat WCW in the war if we never got the Austin versus McMahon. And it all started when Bret Hart got screwed at Survivor Series 1997, man. Absolutely. I remember that very first promo Vince McMahon made. Bret screwed Bret. Mm-hmm. And that's when we got the villain, Mr. McMahon. And then we obviously got the storyline. The
rest is history.
Austin. And yes, the rest was history.
Vince, man, like again, another one of his iconic matches, Battle of the Billionaires 2006, WrestleMania 23, or
Nope,
2007 rather, WrestleMania 23 against Donald Trump, Bobby Lashley, and Umaga, and he got his head shaved bald as fuck, and that's another thing. Vince is one of the only guys that will never make you do something if he wouldn't do it himself. Shaving his fucking head on national TV at the Super Bowl of wrestling.
Oh, I do remember something back in I think it was the Performance Center, man, when I think Rob Gronkowski didn't want to jump off of something, and Vince McMahon dropped off of it because he said pretty much, if there's something I wouldn't do, then
That's the thing with fucking Taker. He was like he told Taker to do something. He's like, well, do you want to see me do it first? And then Taker's like, no, I got it. He's like, is the Undertaker about to let Vince McMahon show his ass up? No, because originally it was going to be Ken Kennedy going over, but instead Taker went down and landed on that fucking crash pad. And Vince was going to do it first. He was like, you want me to do it first? Like, there is nothing more badass than that. I'm sorry, but if the boss is willing to do these things, bravo. Like, dude for the longest time deserved to have his hands on creative. Not anymore, unfortunately. It's very unfortunate.
Times have changed in pro wrestling, though, and that's why like his style of booking doesn't work anymore, because through time, things evolve, things change.
Production
and,
rises.
Vince, he's been running this shit for, over 50 years. So, of course, when you do the same thing for over 50 years, fans, we're going to get sick of it.
Absolutely.
And right now, Triple H, he understands what WWE needs. And I think that's why, I really do like the decision. But, man, like, some of, like, your storyline highlights with Vince McMahon, because through the years, he's been in so many rivalries.
Mm-hmm.
Iconic rivalries.
Yeah, like I said, WrestleMania 22 with Shawn, Austin at any fucking time. You got fucking the Kiss My Ass Club with William Regal. You got to see I think his face whose face was it? Vince's face that got shoved in Big Show's ass, or was that Shane? Or was that somebody else?
I think that was Vince.
That was Vince. Yeah, it was in a steel cage, right? He was hanging over. No, I was talking about Big Show in the steel cage match.
I don't remember.
It had to be one of them. But regardless of the fact, like him getting his ass kicked in the hospital room with his cast and getting his ass hanging out when Stone Cold started beating the shit out of him. Fucking Stone Cold dumping all the cement in his fucking convertible. Like,
yep, dude, no, I remember the hospital one. That's one of my favorite ones.
Or when fucking DX dropped the shit all over him and Shane.
No, and like Mankind was there, annoying him, and then, freaking Stone Cold, I'll take it from here, nurse, and then starts beating the crap out of him, hits him with the freaking bedpan. And
he's like, that was great.
And then you see Vince McMahon with his fucking tighty whities on, getting his ass whooped.
Let's not talk about the iconic moment at the Royal Rumble 2005 where he slid in the ring and tore both his quads at the same time.
He was so pissed off too, because I guess like it wasn't supposed to be like a draw.
Yeah, Edge saw it apparently. Edge was like the third person left, and on his way back to the ring, he saw fucking Vince like just pissed off, fuming past him. Then he turned around and saw his ass drop, and he was like, "Oh Lord!" He's like, "Oh shit!"
One of my favorite underrated runs for Vince McMahon has got to be the ECW run, man. Do-Rag McMahon.
Fuck yeah, Do-Rag McMahon with the fucking ECW title. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
And then seeing Matt Cardona years later
doing the same shit
in GCW, that was fantastic.
Like I said, there's nobody that's a better fucking heel in a lot of ways than Vince. Vince had this swagger about him. There was just a certain essence to Vince McMahon that cannot be replicated, and that's why he's one of the greatest of all time. And again, he carried the WWE for 40 fucking years, basically, almost. It's
I'm going to tell you one of my biggest what the fuck moments.
Go ahead.
When Vince McMahon wrestled God. Remember that?
He almost just went out my nose, bro. Dude, oh my God, yes.
2006.
Please welcome God. I remember that shit, dude.
He wrestled God.
But yeah, all in all, I have to say, and the way I'm going to end my side of putting him over, we would not be in this chair right now if it wasn't for Vince McMahon. So thank you, Vince. You don't hear it often, but thank you, Vince.
Yeah, I gotta, thank Vince for all the entertainment he's brought. But one thing I do gotta talk about too while we're putting him over Dude, the whole 2006 thing, like you mentioned, the Shawn Michaels and Vince. What about the DX versus, Shane and Vince? They like pretty much built a whole SummerSlam.
Yeah, they
around
dropped
DX
shit on them.
returning, and then like,
They
the
put the
Spirit
porta potty
Squad.
shit on them.
Dude, the Spirit Squad, dude, that was great having the Spirit Squad with Vince. That was
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, dude,
And then
they
you had
dropped
DX,
shit.
send their asses back to OVW in a
If-
crate.
Or the fact that Vince likes cocks.
Dude, I
I
had that
love
shirt as a kid.
I love cock. You love chickens? I love chickens. You love roosters? I love roosters. You love cocks? I love cock.
I also love, too, how the headquarters, they actually did the spray paint with the DX.
Or when they fucked with his microphone.
You people think this is funny?
Yo, and Triple H and Shawn Michaels mocked Vince and Shane.
Stop it. Shane just dropped. Shane just dropped to the floor doing fucking Shane's dance. Oh, God.
But I do got to
Oh,
ask you,
I'm
too,
sweating.
because this is Vince, dude. We have to talk about this for a couple more minutes, man.
Yeah, what up?
So, your favorite, you're fired moment.
Oh, fuck. My favorite you're fired moment. Oh, there's so many. I don't know, man. I think Bischoff, maybe? Maybe
Oh, that's a
Bischoff
good
in the
one.
fucking
Yeah,
the
when you
garbage
threw him in
truck?
the dumpster.
Yeah.
You're fired.
Yeah, I got to go with Bischoff. I was a really big fan of their little like rivalry they had going on, and like Bischoff's ending and Vince's like heavy involvement in it. I think that's where Vince really started coming back as like a prominent character on TV again. So I'm gonna have to go with that because that was like the peak of the Ruthless Aggression era, and that was like my era, then yours
Yep,
as well.
2005,
So yeah, so I'll have to go with there.
So, my favorite you're fired moment has got to be, I believe this was John Cena versus John Laurinaitis. And then John Cena had him up for the apple juice adjustment, and then Vince McMahon goes to John Laurinaitis. You're fired! And everybody was so happy about that because nobody liked John Laurinaitis.
Nobody liked Johnny Ace. Nobody liked him. We really didn't.
General manager of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown.
It honestly is so disgraceful that one, he got away with a lot of the shit, and we're not going to get into it, the shit that he got into, and the fact that that's fucking Road Warrior Animal's brother. That is a fucking disgrace. I feel awful about it, but no,
Also, too, I really did like as well during the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
I love the whole like Stephanie McMahon and like the Ministry of Darkness.
I
when
did too.
Vince, pretty much was like, "It was me all along, Austin."
Yeah, I was into that, man.
Loved it, man. Like the corporation. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. That was one of my favorite factions of all time. The whole corporation, because their like number one goal was to make sure to make Stone Cold's life a living hell.
I do want to talk about one last thing about Vince too, because nobody fucking talks about it. But I like going back to the legacy storyline. You don't see an aggressive babyface Vince very often, and that was like one of the only fucking times that ever happened. And I was hyped when he came out with fucking Triple H and Shane. I was hyped that Vince was a part of that entire fucking thing. Like, I was hyped, dude. Like, that was like, what the fuck is happening? The boss is involved now and he's throwing punches. Like, that's fucking awesome. With Triple H, who they just got over a fucking like rivalry. So the fact that they were together that quickly, excellent television. So, you don't get to see a babyface Vince that often, especially on that capacity. So I feel like that needed an honorable mention.
Last but not least, favorite Vince McMahon match.
Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 22, just because of how brutal it was and how easily they both fucking held each other's own. And the ending segment with Vince after he was leaving on a stretcher, the infamous middle finger. The infamous middle finger. That does not happen anymore on wrestling TV. So the infamous middle finger, I have to give it to Vince. So for that one, that was my favorite because that was a brutal fucking match.
My favorite of all time, man, has got to be, I think it was WrestleMania 17, Shane O'Mac versus Vince McMahon. Such a great match.
That was a phenomenal match, man.
And the last thing I'm going to say is, I can't wait 10 years from now when you become a big Declan McMahon mark and we put him over in a future segment. It's going to be We Are Wrestling like episode like 576.
No, it's going to be episode never. I'm never putting over that fucking punk ass kid. I'm never going to do it. And here, We Are Wrestling 79. Y'all are seeing it right here. I will never put over fucking Shane's son, period.
579. His mind will be changed. But, this week we put over Vince McMahon, and Ben, made the decision to put him over, which, honestly, I'm not surprised by this. I think it was a really good pick, and honestly, a really cool discussion. And next week, I get the opportunity to pick who we're going to be putting over. Do you want a hint?
Sure.
All right, well, this guy is a TNA Wrestling / Impact Wrestling Hall of Famer.
All right, so we're definitely going, and there's 4 names that I have on the tip of my head, and I think I'll give you those 4.
He's brutally underrated, in my
Abyss?
opinion. Huh?
Abyss? Fuck, did I actually? Yeah, he answering shit. Yep. So I guess we're putting over Abyss,
y'all. We're
gonna
be putting over Abyss. So I'm very excited, man, to go down that rabbit hole next week.
I'm stoked.
So
I
Ben,
love
you
Abyss.
better, start watching some old Impact clips of Abyss, man, because I'm ready for it.
I love Abyss. I love Abyss. Next week we're talking about Abyss, y'all. Let's get it. Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's
but
go.
This week we were able to put over Vince McMahon, the man that likes to bury people and put them under.
I mean, I guess I deserve to get buried since I just buried the fuck out of his grandson before he even started.
Yeah, but with that being said, let's dive into the main event topic for the We Are Wrestling Podcast 79. Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy, is unlikely to return to WWE. During the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Meltzer weighed in on the future of Bo Dallas in WWE, stating this: I think he's done. The only reason he was even being used was as a favor to Bray Wyatt. So, I mean, it's possible they'll use him, but I don't expect him to be back. What's your thoughts on, the possible rumors of Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, moving on from WWE?
So, all I'm going to say about this particularly, because, I'm going to keep it brief because, respect to the family, and I'm not going to get clicks for, somebody's untimely passing. So for me personally, I'm going to keep it very short and brief. A tragedy has been struck in his family, and he and Braun Strowman have been hellaciously spending time with Bray's kids, and apparently, every weekend when they go out to eat, they're never unhappy when they're around. And right now the family needs him more than the fans. And I mean, realistically, and I don't mean this in any harsh way, Bo has never really gotten over like Bray, but I also think that this is a great opportunity to take a break and then come back repackaged when and if he wants to and is ready. I think that maybe he could continue Bray's legacy down the line in some capacity. I know that he doesn't have the same creative mind, but with the right guidance, maybe under Triple H, I think that there could be something special there down the line whenever that time is. I won't say that he's entirely done, because never say never is the biggest thing in WWE. And again, he is the brother of one of who was supposed to be the next Undertaker. And again, this tragedy was extra large, and those kids are very small and they need their family. And who better than, the late great Bray Wyatt's brother? So I think Bo should take a break. I think that maybe, again, a few years down the line, maybe even sooner, maybe later, if he finds the passion for it, he finds the time, he gets the green light from the children, from JoJo, from everybody involved that was close, and depending on how they do it and approach it, when he does maybe eventually come back. But I think right now that's the best move right there.
Well said, man. And honestly, I think that this is, a situation, where honestly, like, whatever decision, Bo Dallas, Taylor Rotunda, and, of course, Wyndham's, family decide, and the WWE, of course, I'm going to 150%, back them. I'm going to respect, whatever decision they make.
Absolutely.
And honestly, like, it is a real possibility that we don't see, Bo Dallas in WWE moving forward. And I think, we did see reports, coming out that, WWE, they wanted, Uncle Howdy to, continue the legacy of Bray Wyatt. And it seems like, WWE, they just support, the Rotundas right now during this, tragedy. And I think that, Triple H, obviously, WWE, they don't want, Uncle Howdy to lose his job. They don't want, Taylor Rotunda to lose his job. And, if there's an opportunity, I think that, they'll give him the opportunity to, finish the story. But at the same time, I think if, Taylor, decides that he doesn't want to, do this right now and he wants to, put his main focus into, his,
Real estate.
nephews and nieces, I think WWE is totally going to be behind that and they're going to support him 150%.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, Taylor Rotunda, Liv Morgan, they already got themselves structured and established outside of the company with the real estate company that they had opened together. So real estate is very good money. So I think that he's going to be all right. He'll still be able to make, really decent money outside, but still be able to be very much there for his family because there's not really a lot of travel. So I think...
and like you said, man, like right now, the family, needs him more than the fans.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, if he does decide one day that reluctantly he does want to come back, I hope it's in a nuanced celebration of a Wyatt family tie. I hope that eventually he'll continue the Wyatt family. Maybe not as Bray, obviously, because that'll never happen. But I hope he keeps the spirit alive, and I hope that that's the angle that he takes. But if not, I'm still cool seeing him establish himself as his own. But I think that the Bo Dallas name might need to change. That's my only critique, I should say, and that's a very, very small one.
Yeah, and I think, whatever, adventure he decides to do next, there's a lot of us, including us in the We Are Wrestling podcast. We're going to, support him, 1,000%. And, obviously, our hearts, still go out to, JoJo, the kids and, Wyndham's, friends and family and, the entire, professional wrestling, community because, we're all still hurting from this. Bray Wyatt, is one of the most creative, individual minds in this business. He was so good that, the biggest company in the world, they didn't even know what to do with him half the time.
Yeah.
They would either underbook him or they would overbook him because of how talented and gifted he is. And that's very hard to find guys like that in this business.
We took a loss, man.
And honestly, if, Uncle Howdy does come back, I think it would be, really cool to see that. But at the same time, if, we don't get that, I feel like, that's going to be all right.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, anything else before we close off this week's episode?
No, we've covered it all, man. That was a great ending.
I think we do. And honestly, I got to say, man, just overall with this episode, the past few weeks, man, I've been enjoying, doing the podcast with you. I think, we have something really cool going. I'm really enjoying the Getting Put Over segments,
Hell yeah,
enjoying the comment of the weeks, and the topics have been, pretty cool. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on all the topics that we covered this week. Are you mind blown at Ben burying Vince McMahon's grandson? Because I am. If you enjoyed, this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, give us a 5-star review. Not just any 5-star review, but a best one review and download the episode. But if you haven't checked out the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel where we have live watch-alongs, pay-per-view predictions, different podcasts over there, wrestling vlogs, a lot of additional content, recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. We're 100 subscribers away from 5,000. Once we get there, we have a really cool video that's going to be coming out. Let's just say a part 2 to a very popular compilation video that you guys enjoy. The
And
links down-
be sure to let us know how your dad's doing.
I love that comment of the week, man.
Hell yeah,
the links
dude.
down in the description below. You can go follow Ben and I over on our social medias and our own personal YouTube channels. Ben's doing music reactions. I'm doing toy videos. All the links down in the description below. And of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.